leave your coffee there, all right? Margaret will be in soon to put the hoover round. So if you need anything, remember what to do. Yes? Dad? Yes? Remember, I'll just leave them there. I won't be long. So don't get your incontinence pants in a twist.
I'm not deaf. Can't say a lot, but I'm not deaf. Why does she shout? I've had a stroke, but I'm not deaf and I'm not stupid. I heard that comment about the incontinence pants, bit below the belt, that. What am I supposed to do with this cup of coffee, I ask you? I'll have a job to drink it. I'll just have to hope Margaret comes in while she's gone. It's not her job, but she's good like that. And what's all this about then? Happy? Got the hump? And what's this? She's got some funny ideas, that girl. I don't know where she gets it from. Doesn't come from me. The other day, she comes home with a parrot. A parrot, I ask you. Said it would keep me company. Suppose she thinks we can have a nice little chat. Seeing as neither of us can say a word, I don't hold out much hope. I'll give it to Margaret. She makes a huge fuss of it. I can't stand the horrible thing. I don't know what she's thinking half the time. No change there. She always was a devious little bugger. Even as a kid, she gave her mother and me no end of grief. Late nights, dodgy friends. Wanted to do some really crazy things when she was small, like wanting to ride on the roof rack of the car. I don't tell too many people about that, though. You get in trouble with social services if you let kids do things like that nowadays.
Would give me a wink when I was to keep quiet so Mum wouldn't find out about it. Like the time he took me for a ride on the roof rack. Mum would have had a fit if she'd known about that. And he used to get me outside with him, lighting the fireworks. I used to hold a milk bottle with a rocket in it like this. I said to him, "But Dad, I'm only 6. He said, "Don't worry about that. Here's a box of matches." Singed my hair, I did. Mum wasn't happy about that. Told him to take me to the hairdressers, get it sorted. Well, he only took me to the barber shop and got the bloke to give me a short back and sides, didn't he? Didn't know I was crying. Didn't get it at all.
She always was my favourite, though. I know I shouldn't say it, but her sisters aren't hear it. Not now, anyway. She used to follow me round like a little dog. I even used to pat her on the head when she was little-like. Now look at her. Still living at home. I suppose that's why she ended up looking after me. She was going to be a career girl. All well and good till you've lost your job, then what have you got? No family, no career, no nothing. Her sisters have all got their own families now. Very busy they all are. I don't know what happened to her and me. We used to be mates, thick as thieves. Now look at us. She promised me once, she said she'd never put me in a home. She said, "Dad, I'll never put you in one of those places." I know where she's going now. She's going to look at one of those places. But I'm not ready. I'm still a young man.
He feels sorry for me. He thinks I don't know, but I'm not stupid. He thinks I'm an old maid that should have got married and had kids. There was only girls in our family. Mum always used to say, "Daughters will look after you when you're old." Sons don't do that. Still look pissed off about it if you ask me. We used to have a laugh though. Sometimes. Not much to laugh about now. I don't like leaving on his own, but I'm going out to look at a nursing home. You should see the price of it. Suppose it'll mean selling the house. Been here all my life, more or less. Me and him, and the others. Thing is, he made me promise I wouldn't. He said to me once, when we'd been to visit my granddad, he said, "Promise me you'll never put me in a place like that." He said it like he was joking, but he wasn't. He'll be wanting a shave. Gets annoyed if he has to wait. Chucked the mug at me last time I made him wait. One day I'll chuck it back, that'll teach him, eh? Sorry.
What's you two that for? I was watching that. She's only upstairs, but it's too quiet. I know what she's up to. She's up there emptying all my cupboards. Creeps down the stairs with black bin bags. I've seen her. Takes most of them round to the charity shop. Gave a couple of bags to Margaret. I suppose it's only old clothes and stuff like that, but it isn't hers to give away. She thinks I haven't noticed, but I have. Chucked a load of furniture out too. Left it out on the doorstep for the council to take away. The cheeky madam. I don't mind her giving things to Margaret, but I do mind her chucking it out. Took a load of stuff round to her sister's as well. Dumped it on the doorstep.
I asked my sister to help me. Take him for a walk, come and sit with him at least. She only lives in Abbotswood. I can't be here all the time. You've got nothing better to do, she said. And besides, you're the one getting paid for it. You're the one getting the carer's allowance, not working, living in his house rent-free, at your age. Cheeky bitch. And don't get me started on the carer's allowance. Struggling to pay the bills as it is. So anyway, I took him over to her place, rolled him up the path and left him on the doorstep. Well, they pretended they weren't in, didn't they? I was having none of it, kept banging at that door. They wouldn't answer it. So I threw one of his nappies at the window. Dirty one too. You should have seen the mess it made. Brilliant it was. And then I went off and left him there. Right in their front garden for all the neighbours to see. He ended up getting sunburn. Feel a bit bad about that now. Not the nappy. I just shoved it in her face if she'd opened the door. About the sunburn.
Took me as well. It was nice to be out in the sun, but I think she must have forgotten about me. I got sunburnt. Look at me. I don't know why her sister didn't open the door.
When I got back, I ended up getting into a row with Margaret. She said he could have got sunstroke, dehydration. I said I wish he would, then I wouldn't have to keep changing his bloody nappies. Incontinence pants, she said. Let the man have his dignity. I suppose she's right, Margaret. She's a lovely woman. Useless cleaner. Dad likes her though. Or I think he does.
I've realised what the banana's for now. It's if I shit myself. Margaret was pushing the vacuum round and I managed to get hold of it, the banana. Well, she only went and peeled it, didn't she? I don't even like bananas and I definitely didn't want that one. It was on the turn. Margaret must have noticed the smell, but she was too polite to say anything. Anyway, I had to sit in it till she got home, didn't I? She wasn't happy. She started shouting, shouted at me, shouted at Margaret, and I thought that was a bit out of order. Anyway, then she sat down and started to cry. I thought Margaret was going to pick up her bag and leave, but instead, she sat down and put her arm round her. I'll say that for Margaret. She's a good sort. We always have a nice chat, her and me. Well, she has a chat, I can't say anything, but I don't mind listening. She's got 7 grandchildren. I think she must be a widow. I've never heard her mention an husband or an ex. Anyway, after Margaret left, I heard her on the blower to social services. They're going to send a carer around to help with the awkward stuff. I hope she comes back, Margaret. She's a good sort.
So that's what this is about. That's their contribution. Flat screen, high definition and all that bollocks. 500 quid it was. Brother-in-law brought it round after I had the big ding-dong with my sister. Stick the old man in front of that with a cup of tea. Of course, I'm the one still making the tea. Not sure how long I can keep this up. He fell asleep in the armchair last night. I swear to God he'd stopped breathing. I leaned over him, ever so gently, and waited. Thought, this is it. It will be nice and peaceful. And then he snorted like a pig and started snoring. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. In the end, I cried. Sat on the toilet and sobbed my heart out. I told Margaret. She said it's normal to feel like that, but just remember it isn't his fault. It's not mine either. That's what I said. Then she patted me on the leg and made me a cup of tea. Of course, she's not done, Margaret. She noticed the bruises. I told her he'd had a fall. I'm doing a bit of decorating. Magnolia. The whole lot. Well, not the ceiling, that'd be white. Can't remember the last time this place had any money spent on it. Not even a coat of paint, let alone a new kitchen. You should see it. All orange formica and sliding glass doors. Still remember when Dad put it in. Got his ear bent by Mum for the next 10 years for not finishing it off. Still waiting for a few handles to be put on some of the drawers. I'll leave it. Anyway, it's retro. I'll tell the viewers that when they turn their noses up at it. It's retro, don't you know? I know the market's not great at the moment, but, well, it's time for a change. Oh, this isn't mine. Well, it is. I caught it at the wedding. I didn't catch it exactly, it hit me on the side of the head, but it still counts. I managed to pick it up off the floor before anyone trod on it. It's Margaret's. She looked lovely. She's a big woman, but she looked very elegant. Turquoise. I wouldn't have chosen it, but then I don't suppose she'd paint her house magnolia. Got a bungalow with coal effect fires, laminated wood floors and a fish pond in the garden. She's even gone out and bought one of those armchairs that go up and down with a remote control. Spent loads of money. Fair play to her, taking Dad on. I said to her, you don't have to marry him, you know. She said, I know I don't, but I want to. After all, he's the perfect man. Eats what I give him and never answers back. She was joking. I'm very happy for them. Dad, Margaret, and the parrot. Got 150 runs between the 3 of them. Turns out the parrot's the same age as me. Who'd have thought it? Of course, the others weren't happy. They came to the wedding, but sat there like they had a bad smell under their nose. Said Margaret was only doing it to get her hands on this house. Liked it even less when I told them the house already belonged to me. That caused a big row, I don't mind telling you. Tried to tell him I didn't want it. I think he was trying to tell me that, well, we could go our separate ways now. I watched him sign the forms, just a squiggle really, all he could manage. Margaret witnessed it. And then he looked up at me, he looked relieved. And then he smiled. And then he winked. I'll miss him, the miserable git. And then you know what I did? I went out and I bought a box of fireworks.